So theoretically should be live. Go to my channel, see if we're live. There we go. It looks like we are indeed live. So we'll put the link to the live stream. Let me get that in here. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you. And so Bad Idea Tuesday is officially started. So, and Fleet Paw also in the house. Good to see you. All right, there is the link to the actual StreamYard. We'll see if we can get a conversation going. Hopefully not too awful of one. I will start off with an icebreaker. This is the kind of ice I use. Yes, huge chunks of ice. There, that's fun fact of the day. And Matthew Parker says, yo. Thomas says, Tuesday, but the Wednesday virtual pub was last night. Yeah, I know. It gets very confusing, doesn't it? I can never keep track of what day of the week it is because neither can Matthew, unfortunately. But I'm pouring my glass, well, my cup. It's not really glass because it's made of metal. But hey, whatever. And it's didn't quite go down enough so that the lid will fit on it, but oh well, it'll work. Let's see. And let me do the old pop out chat thing so I can move the chat to the other side of the screen here and make it easier for me to see. All right. John DeMarco says, greetings. Hey, John, if you want to join up, more than happy to have you come on. We can argue about the name of Boba Fett's ship, which, of course, is the name of Boba Fett's ship. Or whatever else tickles your fancy until yours time with Matthew, which is about how long I plan on going, because, you know, why not? And Deej is here. Hey, Deej.
I'm gonna settle an argument real quick.
Uh-oh. What's the settlement?
Alexa, what is the name of Boba Fett's ship?
Boba Fett's starship is the Slave One.
Okay. End of discussion. If Alexa says it's true, then that's it.
Okay. Well, there you go. Not sure what the point of that is, but okay.
No, so we don't have to argue about the name of Boba Fett's ship no more.
Well, except that I think is Alexa, does Alexa work for Lucasfilm?
No, Alexa works for Google.
Yeah, and does Google work for Lucasfilm?
Shut up, Alexa. She likes to keep talking. Alexa, shut up.
Yeah, see, I think the problem there is that Alexa's motivations may be in doubt. That's the problem. That's really the problem there.
You missed a funny experiment we did on my stream earlier today.
What's that?
Yvette from England and I both have Alexas. Okay. We both asked her who was the best doctor from Doctor Who.
Okay.
It gave us two different answers.
Really? So the English Alexa and the American Alexa gave two different answers.
Yep. It was funny.
Interesting.
Mine told me it was David Tennant.
What did hers say?
Jodie Whittaker.
Interesting. Well, I would have to agree with yours.
I would think. Well, no, I don't.
More than hers, anyway.
Well, yeah, because I can't agree with it because I say Tom Baker, but
right. But I mean, if I'm going with just the newer Who's, I would go with David Tennant. Like if I was going with the new Who's, I like David Tennant of the since the relaunched Who's. Turd Ferguson's first turd in the room. Good to see you. Moxley's in the house, says hello. Is that Mountain Dew Zero Sugar? It is indeed. That is what I generally drink Turd Ferguson says the internet says a certain bitter orange douche won the election to don't believe everything on the internet. That is true. And E4U Now TV says, ask Alexa if Slave One is offensive.
Really? Want me to ask that?
Yeah, well, why not?
Oh, boy. Alexa, is Slave One offensive?
Here's something I found on the web. According to jcarchibald.com, the computer term master/slave, which was banned as racially offensive by a Los Angeles County purchasing department, was named the most politically incorrect term of the year.
Alexa,
there you go.
Shut up. Yeah, but see, they come from Los Angeles County, so it doesn't count.
So I see how it is. So when Alexa gives you information you don't like, it doesn't count.
No, I'm just goofing around because, it's California.
I see how you are. And how you doing? John, why does it say Jarwin?
Well, you'd have to ask Matthew about that because that's what he called me the other night.
Oh, he called you Jarwin now?
It's always something different.
Yeah, well, you are going to be talking to him about Leonard Nimoy tonight, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
I demand it.
I'm sure we'll work that in.
Okay. And hey, Fleet Paw, beautiful skies where you're at.
Upstate New York, Annie Trucker.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Not too bad. You just out walking?
Changing the propane tank on the grill.
Hey, well, there are worse things to be doing right now. Just don't cause any explosions.
No, but it's humid as balls out. So what does that tell you?
Well, it depends on your balls, I suppose.
So I have to add something to the Doctor Who debate. Capaldi was the best doctor.
Okay. Are you upside down right now? Because it looks like you're upside down right now.
No, I'm changing a propane tank.
Yeah, but it's...
He's looking down and now he picked the phone back up.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a bug. It's trying to eat me.
And Aberjam is in the house, says Jordan Peterson is the best doctor. I'm just going to go out on a limb and just say the doctor from Voyager was the best doctor.
I can agree with that.
And Darth Maul's in the house. How you doing, my friend? So just kind of hanging out. Figured that I would just kind of throw up a live stream because I think Thomas Potts's head was going to explode since LD was starting to talk about Project Prometheus over on Bird of Prey 5 stream. And, when Project Prometheus starts getting mentioned, certain heads start exploding.
How is Bird doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
He's fine. He's just getting slaughtered over in Warzone there. It's quite hilarious to watch. And indeed, long live Robert Picardo. I love Robert Picardo. I could watch, and I'm sorry that it's such a missed opportunity with Star Trek Prodigy to bring back Kate Mulgrew as a training hologram when if you could have gotten Robert Picardo. Come on.
I think that would have worked better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because Robert Picardo, just the idea of, as his mannerism and how much he just sounds like he is annoyed all the time, and now put him in a room full of annoying kids. Oh, comedy gold right there. But yeah, no, so didn't do it. So unfortunately, we will not get any of that.
And here I thought Phlox was the best doctor.
Well, you were wrong.
He cured himself of the Borg nanites. He cured the Klingons from the augment virus.
Yeah, he's so good at curing the Klingons that they completely forgot about him. So good at curing the Borg that they completely forgot about. He's the doctor that everything he did, they forgot.
That's because they were specious against him.
Okay.
Phlox ranks up there with it in the top 3 of my favorite doctors. I always have a top 3 because I don't have a top 1.
Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Phlox or anything, but I don't know if I had to pick one to be my personal physician, I would pick Robert Picardo's doctor, just because I would say that he's the one that I would most trust to find the problem and fix it.
Yeah, I could go with that.
You know, considering that number one, he's chronologically the most further set in the future, which means he's got the experience of all the guys before him. And he's literally programmed with all the experience of all the guys before him.
I did like his growth as a character too, because where he started off as just a machine, very curt, very, this is how we're doing it, get out of my way. And then he actually developed friendships with crew and everything. Right. That was great. I liked his development.
Now, yeah, if you were asking me who I would want to hang out with, probably not the doctor, but he's kind of a jerk. But at the same time, he would definitely be one up there as far as who would I want as a doctor. Pulaski is actually way up there too as far as who would I want as a doctor. Pulaski is underrated because the funny thing about her is that rewatch season 2 of TNG. Look, I'm the first person to say season 2 of TNG sucked, but Pulaski is a doctor. She is a straight up physician, and she takes her duties as a doctor seriously. She wants to, and I believe her as a doctor probably more than any other non-alien doctor on the show.
Pulaski gets a lot of hate, and it's a lot of undeserved hate.
Yeah,
some of it is deserved from how she treated Data at the very first of season 2.
Well, but you know what? I honestly, the funny thing about her thing about Data is I agree with her on Data. I agree with her from a philosophical perspective that Data is simply a machine. Now, I know that's not how he's written, but, because the writers, of course, make Data out to be a sapient being, but I philosophically do not believe that machines are capable of having souls, of, achieving consciousness. I don't think that's possible. But, so from a philosophical standpoint, I agree with her with that. But I think that she also, I think, was really interesting, was like, if you look at her in peak performance, where she was trying to get Data to challenge the guy to that Stratagema game, which was like the dumbest game ever, where, hey, let's put some thimbles with strings on your fingers and wiggle them around a little bit and pretend that that's like the most intense game of strategy ever. But she was right that he should be perfect at this game because he's a machine. And so she was absolutely dead on with that. And I liked her in that she understood medicine. She understood what Data was and what Data should be capable of.
I liked her development as a character. Yeah. I did. The bad part about it is they tried to portray it as like a Bones character.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to go for a Bones vibe with the crotchety old doctor. And the problem there, and thank you so much. Mercer throws a couple of bucks in, says Seth should put a season 3 teaser to tell fans it's coming. I would love to see that, but for some reason they're keeping it close to the vest. I don't know what they're going to do with Orville season 3, but so far they're keeping it quiet. We'll see. But thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. Now I completely lost. What were you saying?
Bones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were trying to make her kind of a crotchety old woman, like Bones was a crotchety old man. The problem is that crotchety old man can be endearing. Crotchety old woman is grotesque. And so I think that's a problem, is that it's just not as fun, you know?
I don't know. I kind of put McCoy up there because he was also a good bartender. If he felt that you needed a drink, he brought it to you.
That's true.
So did Piper, though.
Yeah. Well, McCoy was more Kirk's friend than his doctor. And I think that's where we got more. I think we got more good moments of McCoy being Jim's friend than Captain Kirk's doctor.
And that's why the dichotomy between Kirk and Bones works so well.
Right.
And the triad between Kirk, Bones, and Spot.
Are we starting to say something, John?
I was having some mic issues I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, you were kind of fading in and out there. So like you were there and some kind of weird, loud background noise.
Does it sound all right now?
Yeah.
Right. No.
Oh, thank you.
So was there something you wanted to add to it, or you just...
Not really, no. So I was only kind of half listening, so I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Oh, I see how you are. You're just like, yeah, whatever. And I disagree with you, Aberdeen. Aberdeen says Dr. Pulaski had all the character and presence of a single-ply toilet roll. I disagree with you on that. I think that Dr. Pulaski had her character was that of a physician who was a down to business physician. She's like, let me squeeze you here. Tell me if this hurts. Like when I was in the hospital last week, Dr. Pulaski wasn't the kindly nurse that would come in and say, oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. Dr. Pulaski was the surgeon that would come in and say, oh, so I hear you're not feeling well. So let me ask you, let me poke you. Does this hurt? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Definitely gallstone. We're going to cut you open. I'll be back in a bit. That's Dr. Pulaski. She's down to business. She knows what the problem is. She's just going to verify. Yeah. Okay. I'll be back when I'm going to cut you open. The nurse will take care of you. She's down to brass tacks. She's not here to, just, to make pleasantries.
By the way, did you get a donation?
Did I get a donation? If I did, I did not. Let me see. I probably should have the other screen up because I don't, like an idiot. Let me get my... Thanks for making me have to do multiple things at once.
Anytime.
Bad, John. Bad.
Let's log into YouTube.
He's not even logged in it.
No, I'm not. I was not logged into my dashboard. Thanks for reminding me, jerk.
There we go. I got the jerk word. Yay, I'm happy now.
Well, I'm glad to make you happy.
Oh, you missed a good stream over on Trek.
Oh, Gavin McCash donated $1. I'm Gavin McCash. Gavin McCash. I can still kind of do the voice. So it's Gavin McCash. I'm announcing my new book, How to Identify If Your Show Went Woke. Do you think it's a book? Do you think this book is $200 for only 23 payments of $23? Oh, goodness. Thank you, Gavin McCash. I didn't know Gavin McCash, who is, of course, me from, what did Bird say, 1992? Even though it's actually from 2006. So me from 2006 could donate to me today. And Mercer also donated $1, said, I didn't hate Pulaski. I liked her point of view and how she gave Data a hard time in the Sherlock Holmes episode. Of course, that's also what gave rise to Moriarty, which I was not a fan of. That kind of established, oh, look, the Enterprise computers are so sophisticated that you can just tell them to create a sentient life form, and they do. And let's bring it. We got a couple more people here, so let's try not to talk over each other too much. But we got Kermit and Mercer. Hey guys, how you both doing?
Welcome.
Hello. How do I get my avatar to come up here?
And Kermit dropped. But Mercer, if you turn your camera off, it replaces. There you go.
There you go. There's my. Yeah. There's me.
Yeah.
My avatar is a picture from the Far Side comic strip.
Yes, I recognize it. And there's Kermit's back. Hey,
Sorry,
Kermit.
I had technical issues.
That's okay. So
We all get them every now.
Just
You're an
remember,
inspiration and a leader.
Just remember, guys, we got 6 people up here, so let's not all talk at the same time. Is all I ask. All right.
Go ahead.
No, what were you saying, Kermit?
I was going to say I read an interesting book series.
What's that?
Fire in the Sky.
I saw the movie.
I have not.
It's not a movie.
There was a movie in the 90s called Fire in the Sky.
Thing.
Well, I see that Deej has found Kermit's friend Fozzie. So, Kermit, you see your friend Fozzie is with us.
To be honest, I don't know much about the Muppets.
Well, Fozzie is Kermit's best friend, actually. Oh, and Fozzie has left. But yeah, you don't know much about the Muppets. I love the Muppets, I will tell you. And if you have Disney Plus, you should watch the Muppet Show. It is hilarious, as well as the Muppet Movie, which is the origin of the Muppet Show. But yeah, Kermit and Fozzie Bear are best friends.
But my book, it's a book series, and it's 11 books.
And it's called Fire in the Sky. I've never heard of it.
It's about when the EMP takes out the world power grid.
Okay. Hey, have you guys heard of this new documentary they're trying to get funded called The Great Films of 1982? I think it's called. It's like Star Trek II, Tron, and Blade Runner, and they all came out in this great year of 1982. Sorry, not 1992. And Scott Mantz is trying to get this movie funded. I think he's only got 1 day left on his Kickstarter to make a documentary on the great films of 1982 for genre fans.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, it's...
Then again, I don't go on the Kickstarter, so that's another thing.
Kickstarter, that's what it is.
I have not, but 1982 was a great year for movies. I remember that year well, because unlike most of you, I was alive.
I was -7 years old.
Thank you for rubbing it in.
I'll put a link in the YouTube.
I was at least 11.
Oh, Annie Trucker, you don't look a day over 32. Shut up.
532, maybe.
And
you
Alex
get
said,
from the stream.
Alex was saying in the chat, speaking of Trek doctors, what's your opinion of an all Bashir comic-centric or all Bashir-centric Section 31 episodes of DS9? What's your favorite and your opinion of Sloan? I
put the link in, by the way.
Thank you. Sloan, I thought, was an all right antagonist, but I think that Section 31 on Deep Space Nine was done about as much as I'd like to see Section 31 done on a series. I think that Section 31 was way overdone on Discovery, but I liked Section 31. Like when you bring in Sloan every once in a while as kind of a reoccurring villain, I like that.
Although he didn't, if I remember correctly, he didn't do that much bad.
Well, but that's the idea.
Manipulated the Doctor to do shit.
It was the whole genocide thing. That's right. Bad.
Well, he was bad, but he was bad. He was trying to do the right thing for the. Well, he was trying to do what would you say? The wrong thing for the right reason, or the right thing for the wrong reason? You know
what?
He was one of those two. And
do you think the first Sloan episode aired either right before or right after In the Pale Moonlight? And I happen to think that Section 31 was somehow either involved or knew about what Cisco was doing.
I don't think Section 31 was involved in that at all.
I think they knew about it.
Why?
They know about everything, supposedly.
Because they gave
See-
Cisco permission to actually go through with the plan. I have a feeling that was slipped on the admiral's desk from Section 31.
I think the beauty of it, and this is where this is the beauty of Section 31. They're a tiny organization with very limited power, and because you don't know where they are or who they are, they could be anywhere, they could be anyone, so you think they're everyone, and you think they're
Just
everywhere.
like John Wick.
Yeah, so you think that they're way more powerful than they are.
I tend to think of Section 31 as like the Sith, where there's only a handful of them in existence at the same time.
Right. But they're not all that powerful. It's just that they could be anywhere.
You know what I liked about what I found amusing on Deep Space Nine? When all those racial tensions are going on, I'm surprised that Captain's quarters wasn't harder to get to.
Well, I think that part of it, though, was that Cisco wanted to be accessible. And so that was part of his whole thing. Because think about if you look at what the Cardassian rule was like, and he was purposely trying to be different than that.
But it surprised me that they were able to. I get your point, but I didn't think of your point.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking it was surprising that they went down to his cabin and spray painted on his door. Or did they not know it was his door?
I don't know.
I would have thought it would have been marked.
Are you talking about the circle?
I don't remember. No, I think they spray painted. They spray painted words. I think it's been a while since I've seen it.
I remember the circle spray painted some random place in the habitat ring when they were trying to tell everybody to get off the station, that to leave when they were trying to do their little coup at the beginning of season 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My brain's a little fuzzy on that.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I have very big Star Trek knowledge. I have very big Star Trek knowledge. I have a lot of encyclopedic Star Trek knowledge.
You might be right, but I feel like he was his door was spray painted at least 2 times.
Now, someone was suggesting that Comcast is trying to buy Viacom CBS. I doubt that very much, considering that Comcast bought NBC Universal, and I really doubt that the FCC would allow the same entity to own NBC and CBS. So I would call shenanigans on that, just to whoever was saying that.
Not only that, but Comcast is nearly broke, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know if they are or not. I mean, I used to work for Comcast. I know that they make money hand over fist off their internet product, but they were hoping to make a lot of money off of Universal Pictures, and then they realized that the only profitable film franchise that Universal Pictures has is the Fast and the Furious. And so they're like, whoops, wrong film studio.
But they can build up another franchise. It'll cost a lot of money, but they can do it.
They could, but the problem is they tried to do it the MonsterVerse, and that failed to launch, and so they don't know what to do.
Well, real quick, I'm going to jump out because we have that stream tomorrow, and I don't want to give away any stories that we might talk about.
Absolutely, Deej.
And you got a full house now. And hail Bird, hail Richie.
See you later, Wicket. I mean, Deej.
Yeah,
bye, Deej.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying hail to them because Bird and them's in chat.
I get fathers and sons confused all the time.
Yeah.
Bye, Deej.
Nub.
Bye, Deej.
And let's see. Richie says, "Hello, world." Oh wait, this is the Anti-Checker live stream. Oh, yeah.
That's mean.
And Thomas says, "Disney is flat out broke as long as you ignore the numbers."
Anyone can be broke if you ignore the numbers.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, and anybody can be rich if you ignore the numbers too. I'm completely. I'll tell you, I'm the richest man in the world if you just ignore my bank account.
Well, you are the richest man in the world, Andy Trekker.
Yeah, as long as you ignore my bank account, that's absolutely true.
I mean, you've got a loving wife.
Well,
That's all you need.
Well, yeah, in that respect, sure. But you know.
I found a new show before I went on vacation.
What's that?
Paradise PD. It's on Netflix.
Nah, never heard of it.
They make fun of pop culture
Okay.
and Fox News.
Oh, so it's kind of like Reno 911 or Super Troopers.
Yeah, they also had someone who was like Bill Clinton. They had his voice.
And Alex, if you're going home tomorrow, that's awesome news. I'm glad to hear that. And yes, indeed, Thomas, I identify as rich. Unfortunately, nobody seems to care about that fact. At least not the bank. I keep telling, B of A, Wells Fargo, that I identify as rich, and they're like, I don't care. We're not changing the balance on your account. And they're like, come on, but I identify as rich.
By the way, I finally got a new webcam. I want to try it out.
Okay. We get that sucker
I'm on
going.
my iPad.
That seems to be working all right.
By the way, I'm hearing that you got a donation from Matthew.
Oh, did I? Oh, you're right. I did get that. Thank you so much for being on top of things for me, Darwin. Why you call yourself Darwin? I don't know. All right, so
have any of you ever heard of the show Brickleberry?
I tried to watch it. Yeah, I didn't care for it, to be honest with you. I know it's made by that same guy that does the internet video show. I can remember Tosh.0. Yeah. All right, so Life with Matthew donated $1 and says, "What gall? First, you made fun of me and Spock, and you steal my John on Sequest night. I'm so flabbergasted with you. You and that old lady can go to," and then it's bleeped out. I am shocked at such language, Matthew. I am absolutely shocked. Matthew is cussing me out right here.
He shouldn't
Matthew
do
comes
that.
out.
It's because Matthew's jealous.
Yeah. I might let me see. I might have to message Matthew here and say, "Why are you cussing me out, bro?" Let's see.
He'll probably just ignore it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he does. He always ignores my Skype messages. I'm like messaging him all. I'm like, hey Matthew, we're supposed to go live in like 2 minutes, and he ignores me. Hey, why the angry message?
I've also read another series called Iron Legion.
That's going to be another Disney series. That's going to be another Marvel series with...
it's totally different.
Don Cheadle. Well, that's the one I'm looking forward to.
You're thinking of Iron Wars, Anti-Tracker.
Oh, okay. Is that going to be called Iron Wars?
Yeah.
I
can never keep track.
My book series is about a new mech unit. At first made out of convicts and others.
Sounds
then they prove themselves. Eventually they go to the moon.
Hey, I lost everybody for a second, but you're all back.
I'm writing a novel too about predestination.
Then they hack Earth's defense. Then they hack Earth's mind grid.
Well, there's also, speaking of mind grid, Matthew believes in mind bullets.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Do you use your mind to shoot the bullets on the floor?
It's something like that.
I haven't been making anything cool or thinking anything. I've just been watching Andromeda for the past 2-3 weeks.
The main character is a Chinese woman. in this book series. She's a major at 20.
I've been watching Next Generation reruns. I just watched The Hunted today with Roga Danar, the best villain ever. Roga Danar.
Also, Earth and the colonies are
Hold on,
separated.
we're all over the map here. You got a lot of other people talk too. And Alexander's joining us here. Is that Alexander? Hey, Alexander, how you doing, my crazy friend?
I'm very fine. I just finished the work 1 hour ago. I catch some Pokemons. I eat a lot after that, and now I'm back. I will watch wrestling later. The National Wrestling Alliance.
Well, you know, Fleet Paul looks like he's ready to wrestle, I think. And then Alexander just disappeared. I think that I said Fleet Paul was ready to wrestle and it scared him.
I can wrestle.
That's what it was. Look at that. DJ, or I'm sorry, Momo showed up. That's what it was. Look at that.
I put stuff in the chat.
And then I have got a problem, and I know why I got a problem. Because of the shit that I saw here.
I'm on the bottom. Aww.
That's okay. Challenger, what are you doing here?
Well, this Momo guy keeps attacking Alexander for some reason. It's not.
This shit.
They keep trying to hug each other or something. It's kind of a weird thing. I have no.
Challenger, nobody will do your challenge. Nobody.
Well,
nobody will do that.
I hope move you up to the top row because dinner's done. So I'm fixing to leave.
All right, Fleepa.
Thanks for having me.
My
have a good dinner. What's for dinner?
I had a good time. Fleepa.
My Fleepa.
I need to take off as well, but appreciate having me on.
All right, John. You have a good one, and don't forget, please. Number one, ask Matthew why the Leonard Nimoy thing, and number two, ask him why he sent me angry, obscene messages today.
We'll definitely cover that. Catch you later.
Send a dick pic.
Bye.
That's really weird.
No, he didn't send me a dick pic, Alexander.
But
not quite that obscene.
Oh, okay.
My first book series that I mentioned starts in Africa.
What the fuck? Kermit the Frog wrote books?
He's reading them, not writing them.
I write books.
Okay, fine.
I've read 11 books in like 4 days.
That's not bad.
I can't even read 11 words in 4 days.
Which means that is.
And I don't think it's actually ending the series.
Oh god!
But it's
open line and a hunted record.
Right now they're dealing with the remains of a viral outbreak.
Did I tell you guys I actually
people into the countryside?
I actually saw William Shatner with my own eyes in person once.
I met him at a Comic-Con here in Nashville.
What is the craziest thing you've ever heard of William Shatner doing?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Because I don't follow any news of him.
I saw with my eyes directly at 15 meters of me, Vladimir Putin, and I spoke with Mikhail Gorbachev.
You never talked to Mikhail Gorbachev.
I spoke to Mikhail Gorbachev. I will explain what happened. You'll know.
I used to date Angelina Jolie.
I'll explain. It was my first year in Russia. It was like after the maybe in March or April. So I arrived to Biblioglobus. Biblioglobus is a big library in the center of Moscow. And I arrived there, and Mikhail Gorbachev had just published his autobiography. and it was his memoir.
This seems like a lie to me.
No, but you didn't listen to everything. So he had just published his memoir, and I watched, and I decided to buy them. But I saw there was like an announcement saying Mikhail Gorbachev will be at Blvd tonight from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock to sign copies of the biographies that have been bought in Blvd. So I bought my copy.
Alex, you can see your eye in your face.
Yes, I'm trying to.
It's
I don't
true.
know.
I even have the books. I even
got a
have the
tablet,
books in
hang
my
on.
locker. So I came back and he signed the books of everyone. I mean, he stayed 1 hour more to be able to sign all the biographies, memoirs.
Trying to find the best angle.
And I spoke with him. I didn't spoke a long time. We exchanged some words like I said where I'm coming from, and I was glad to buy his book and all that stuff. He said to me, "Yes, I have friends over there." And after that, I left. So I didn't sit with him for hours.
There you go. You can see my beard.
I went to London.
But Kermit the Frog, do you know that I lived 7 years in Russia at first?
No, but I went to London for a week.
A week, not 7 years.
I've been to Germany for 2 months.
Okay, good.
I saw Mozart's birthplace and his house.
Good. That's a place that a lot of people are visiting.
But we did all the touristy things in London.
And by the way, I do want to say to Fleetpaw, because I know he's on his way out. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat as he was leaving. He was getting his dinner ready. And welcome, Alex, to the Nut House. I think that's the best way to describe today's live stream. We're just hanging around, being weirdos, and that's all good. That's just us.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm a weirdo myself.
We went to the London Museum. British Museum, I mean. I didn't even get to see the second floor. We ran out of time.
Were you starting to ask something, Alex?
Oh, I was just wondering, what's your favorite season of Stargate SG-1?
That's a tough one for me. I would say I haven't gotten all the way through it, but
the end just repeats.
When they, and Alexander, thank you so much. Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR is the best choice. I know that is one of your favorite things in the whole world to say.
I'm fond of that too.
But when which season is it that they first launched the Earth-made ship?
Oh God, what was that called? It's been a while since I've seen the show. I think Thor named it, but the Asgard made it.
All right, that's where the show really starts to pick up to me, and so that's like where I started to really get into it.
Wasn't there also a ship called the Pegasus?
I saw the Rosetta Stone.
Really, you saw the actual Rosetta Stone?
Or a copy, but yeah.
See, I think I prefer the before the show revealed that the ancients were actually humans. I wanted them to be aliens. I was really disappointed with that reveal.
See, as much as I like the Stargate universe, I don't know. And I'm not talking about the series Stargate universe. I mean the Stargate universe, meaning the universe that Stargate is in.
It's in the same universe as the Orville.
It is not in the same universe as the Orville.
I think they're in the same universe. I'll debate you on that one.
Can you
just
prove
for the sake
it?
of debating?
All right, prove it if you can.
Prove it. Simple. They don't use Stargates in the Orville. If the Stargate universe was same universe, and now he leaves. If the Stargate universe was the same universe as the Orville universe, then they would use Stargates in the Orville. That's simple.
Yes,
Maybe
but
they
the
hit-
problem,
Put it off there for a second. I accidentally dropped something on my keyboard.
he made a mistake. He wanted to say Sequest and the Orville are in
Yeah.
the same universe.
Galaxy Quest and the Orville are in the same universe.
But
That
No, you
would
see,
make sense.
Galaxy
What?
Quest, I could see Galaxy Quest being the Orville's TOS.
Warhammer's in the same universe as Game of Thrones.
well,
They're
Michael,
making a Galaxy Quest TV show now.
Michael, as a guy that saw all the episodes 2 or 3 times of Sequest, that is a big fan of Sequest.
You know what I liked more?
What is the moments of the dolphin that you prefer in Sequest?
You-
Anytime that the dolphin is on screen and Matthew is cringing.
Oh,
You know what I
There
liked?
was going to be an extra on that show, Sequest. He didn't actually do it, but he had an offer to be an extra on Sequest.
You know what show I liked more of the Stargate series? Atlantis. It seemed to have more action and more all that.
Oh, Aquaman's in that.
Yes, he is.
The guy anyway that plays him.
He should have already been there and been knocking on a window or something.
What about
In the lower
Namor?
Habs.
Did Namor would come to the party?
So now, Alexander, you do know that every Tuesday night that Life with Matthew does a Sequest stream with John DeMarco, right?
ooh, I didn't know. He is a fan of Sequest.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know. I know that you are a big fan of Sequest, but I didn't know that Matthew was one.
Well, I'm actually not a big fan of Sequest. But Matthew loves Darwin. That's like Matthew's favorite thing in the whole world is Darwin the dolphin.
And I know 2 whales named George and Gracie.
Yeah. So if
Star Trek: The Next Generation had whales on their had dolphin and whale on their ship
Well, off screen.
as a department.
Oh,
Well,
Apparently, the orcas were supervisors.
when I was in secondary,
Wasn't that a
school,
thing from like the novels? Is that anything that's
It's from the technical manual.
Yeah,
See,
right.
nobody knows more about Star Trek than me right here. I'm the guy with the most knowledge of Star Trek. So it's from the technical manuals.
Oh,
Mercer,
I've heard that somewhere.
I'm not going to beat up on you, Mercer, but if Captain Foley were here, I would dare say that he knows more about Star Trek than you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. In any world, any universe, I know the most Star Trek, and definitely of all the people in this chat, of all the people here, I know the most.
Explain to me, Mercer, if you know so
Hey,
much
I'm
Star
wondering.
Trek. What
What do you guys want to see? What do you guys?
William 6, what he did to make popular the Baku bread in the Romulan Empire?
I couldn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
How William 6 made the Baku bread popular in the Romulan Empire?
Does anyone understand the question? Something about
so
bread?
Something about bread in Romulan Empire.
Yeah, he wants to know how is it that Wayun 6 made Baku bread popular in the Romulan Empire?
What?
Okay, I didn't hear the question.
Yeah.
Michael knows that.
Baku
Magic. A wizard did it.
I don't recall that. I'm sorry. I don't recall that.
A space wizard did it.
Explain to him because you know. He doesn't know. Explain to him.
No, that's okay. I'll leave it a mystery for tonight because
A space wizard did it. Section 31 did it.
But who's the Trekkiest of them all? I don't think that anybody knows. And Trek Reviewer says he's calling BS on Mercer knowing the most Star Trek in chat. I don't think that any one person knows the most of all of Trek because there's
George Roddenberry knows the most. He created it.
First of all, Gene Roddenberry has created it.
You
but,
know, good
Of
luck
all the
trying to
people
pick
here
his brain.
and that have ever been here, I know the most.
I don't think there's any brain left in that skull. It's probably all rotted away.
Section 31 did it.
So, but here's the thing, because with Trek in general, you have Star Trek enthusiasts that are huge fans of the original series. You have Star Trek enthusiasts that are huge fans specifically of Star Trek: The Next Generation, of Deep Space Nine, of Voyager, of Enterprise, and now you have a growing fandom of Discovery, of Picard even. And I know it's hard for some of us to acknowledge that, but it is true that
I'm not going to watch Picard season 2.
I understand, but I'm just saying that those fans do exist. Those fans do exist, as much as we may not want to acknowledge them.
Why does Q look like he's old?
Well,
because the actor's old.
Because John DeLance is a human being.
No,
but in universe, it's because Picard's an old man now, so he's doing that to match him.
Right. We don't know what the writing's going to say.
That's my guess anyway.
Yeah, what I'm guessing they're going to probably do, and what I would do if I were the showrunner for Picard, is very simple. When Q first shows up, you do a CG shot of a young-looking Q, and he goes, "Oh, Picard, you look so old. Here, let me make you feel better." And then he snaps his fingers, and then he looks like he looks now. And he goes, "Does that make you feel better, mon capitaine?" And then for the rest of the time, he looks old. And that way you can make him look old and have it in universe make.
I liked the boxing that they did in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. And hey, Chief Cook, good to see you, old friend. So real quick, I need to help Joshua because it's time for Auntie's walk, but Auntie's being a little stubborn. She doesn't want to get up. So you guys hang out for a minute. I will be right back. So talk amongst yourselves. Please don't break the internet while I'm gone, and I will be right back.
Break history.
See you later, Auntie. I'll see you. I gotta go get my cat. Never mind.
But I like Deep Space Nine when he had a boxing match.
Picard never hit me.
Why didn't he ever come back?
Maybe the writers just weren't interested in using Q again in that series.
Hey, Mercer, I wrote a question for you in the chat. You should maybe watch it.
Question for me in the chat. That wasn't in the chat. Hold on.
The second one, I made a mistake in the first one. That's the problem.
You know, I was thinking recently about what I'd like to see in a DS9 follow-up, and I was thinking, you know who would make a great Odo? Alan Tudyk.
Didn't Odo and that so-called female do it?
Oh, in that episode with the blonde lady who's got amnesia. Well, not amnesia.
No, not her. The other changeling.
Well, it wasn't amnesia, but her whole memory was altered.
No.
For the question.
The changeling.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Didn't they imply that they had
Kira?
That they did it?
We melded. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
You mean Major Kira?
No.
The female changeling, the leader of the Dominion.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not Major Kira.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I have no doubt.
Unless they changelinged her, but
no, she's in prison.
I can't find the question. I don't know. I'm looking up, and I don't see it.
I will put it in the private chat. You saw the private chat.
The female changeling is in prison.
The private chat. Let's go. Let's go.
So was the captain's area in a more secure area?
Well, it probably was the secure area. I mean, it's the captain's.
What do I think of Species 8472? I remember Species 8472, and I thought they were pretty stupid.
They didn't really do anything.
Well, I like
They
the
did
design, but the CGI is really outdated now.
I know that they were trying to get something new out there, something different, but it just seemed like, the fact that they had them going against the Borg, I mean, it just kind of took away from both species, in my opinion. But, I didn't watch much of Voyager.
Voyager's all right.
They didn't really do anything.
7 of 9 in it. Voyager is the best because they are 7 of 9. When 7 of 9 is there, this is the best.
So, they didn't really do anything. That species.
I like when the Borg first showed up. They retconned the Borg so many times. I didn't mind it in Enterprise, but I liked when the Borg showed up. I think it was like J25. That was great. I mean, just to see that shot where they see it and Guinan says they're the Borg. Just watch out for them. That was great. And then you see them like beam on board. I missed old Star Trek.
What about the Queen in First Contact?
I enjoyed it because I understood that they needed to give the Borg a voice in order to make them a villain for people to watch the movie. I liked First Contact, and especially if you watch the commentary, they had their reasons for doing it, and I think they found a great actress to play the Queen. I mean, you could have done it either way. You could have had the Borg just be a hive mind. But I think they did.
Hey! You're not allowed to say you're like First Contact on this channel. You know better than that.
Too late.
I think it was a good movie. I think it was fun to watch.
No. You're not allowed to say it's a good movie.
I hated the ending of Picard.
Anti-Trekker, that reminds me. What happened to all your old movie reviews? And I can't find them on your channel.
Yeah, I'm waiting for The Last Jedi to come back. That was a great review. The 28-part Last Jedi with all the insults built in, because that was part of how you felt at the time.
It was,
and we all know it was all just hyperbolic and just no big deal. Nobody's taking it personally.
They should have continued.
The problem is that I said some things there that were out of line, and
everybody does. Everybody says things that are out of line, but it's captured in history. It's part of what you felt.
It may have been what I felt, but it was still wrong. And so
you can't be wrong for how you feel. And it's not like you really were insulting him. It was just all joking. It's like Mr. Plinkett. You were playing kind of a character of yourself, and Mr. Plinkett makes fun of people far worse than you.
And
hold on.
First of all, you don't have to tell me what I meant. I know what I meant. Okay, and so I understand what you're saying, but just because Mr. Plinkett, what Mr. Plinkett said may have been worse, but that doesn't justify what I said.
I wasn't saying it does. I'm simply saying that they're all kind of speaking through like a character and kind of, just venting about it. And you were just venting about how much you hated the movie. You were, I don't think you really meant it, but it's still funny.
Do you want to hear something funny from Paradise PD?
What's that?
One of the roles they had at Bill Clinton was they had an all-male city up in the clouds away from the woman so they could do whatever the hell they wanted. And the police chief called Hillary Clinton, and she came up in the Avengers-style helicarrier, and it was and it's a Deep State One, and then she and a bunch of women came out of it and beat the heck out of the men.
Okay.
I guess you have to watch it more to see it.
Probably is one of those things that, when you see it, I'm sure it's hilarious.
But I laughed for like 10 minutes on the toilet.
Now, you see, that's funny. just the way you said that.
But his excuse was was up there for like a year, and he was doing some bullshit for the Clinton initiative in Africa.
Look who I captured.
There you are.
And when Hillary video called her, and when Hillary video called him, he had a crude drawing of an African safari. Like hand-drawn crayon.
Okay.
This is normal, my cat.
Wow. Do you have Garfield or Odie?
No, just normal.
Oh, they're
Boy or girl?
Hey
She's
guys,
a girl.
I need to go watch wrestling before to speak with my girlfriend. I need to wake up her at 5:00 in the morning in Russia. So before to call her, I want to watch wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, live from.
Wait a minute.
What's wrong with your cat, Mercer?
Right here.
She's cranky right now.
So have a great day. Bye bye bye.
All right, Alexander, take care, buddy.
Why is she so cranky?
Because I woke her up from her nap so I could have her guest star on the show.
Don't let her go back to sleep.
Hey, Anti-Trekker, I was wondering, have you considered reviewing Dogma?
I guess not.
There's also another funny thing.
The internet cut out a second. Sorry about that, guys.
There was also another funny thing. They broke cable news. I won't say how, because it's highly inappropriate and it might get your stream taken down.
Well, please don't say anything that could get the stream taken down.
But it turns out in this world, Hannity is a robot. So, hydraulic fluid came out of his ear, and then part of his face came off.
I'm so glad that I don't have to.
It's more of you have to watch it to see it.
I have no clue as to that. But
in Paradise PD.
Yeah, see, I've considered like revisiting doing reviews of the Star Wars saga. Like now that we're a few years, now that the Star Wars saga is complete, and we can kind of look at it in a retrospective.
It's not complete. They're going to add 10. You know they're going to make 10 and 11 and 12. You know.
Eventually they will. But the thing is that the sequel trilogy is done, for better or for worse. And
eventually there'll be a real space war and they'll film it.
Well,
and then they'll make it into the next.
Right, but Kermit, the point here is that like we're not looking at like we have the original trilogy, we have the prequel trilogy, we have the sequel trilogy, right?
And the Sharknado films.
And so
the Sharknado films.
Yeah, Don.
In Sharknado, they went to space in one of them.
Right. The Skywalker saga is what and we'll see if this is the end of the Skywalker saga. I hope it's not.
It is.
In the comics, they've done things where we see Luke's descendants. They could maybe focus on that in movies.
I already said it. They already said that it is the last end of the Luke.
Oh, I know they've said it is, but you know what? How many times have they said that this is the and Hollywood does this all the time, where they'll say this is like the last X movie, and then they do another one, right? And because
how can you fix what happened?
I mean. Maybe Mara Jade does exist. Maybe her and Luke did have a kid, and they're out there somewhere. Who knows?
All you have to do is set a movie 100 years after Rise of Skywalker. And
Narnia did that.
And it's and it's another Skywalker.
Yeah, when kids say that boy and
What if Broom Boy is a Skywalker?
Yeah.
Narnia did that.
Yeah, that's what they saying now. They said that boy is related to Luke. So
Maybe Luke was very loose.
Right. Yeah, Luke might have been a player before he decided to become a hermit, right?
Actually, those kids are slaves there.
Right, but we don't know who their parents are. That's the point. All we know is that we know that Rey is a Palpatine. We know that Kylo was the son of Han Han and Leia, but we do not know if Luke ultimately had any children.
Even though they said the Rey is last Jedi.
I mean, for all we know, Mara Jade is out there somewhere.
Yeah,
right. There's a million
Sorry about that.
Yes, don't worry about it. But there's a million possibilities. There's and I mean, like, don't get worked up into what's in books or whatever. Like, I know some people talk about Mara Jade and stuff like that. I don't know the stories, but
Mara Jade was killed by her nephew.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is there's a million possibilities, right? Just like, so Luke could have had kids. What if what if Leia had another kid that we don't know about, right? So,
well, they're not going to go that route.
I guarantee you that Han has a bunch of bastards somewhere.
Well, but Han's not a Skywalker, so that wouldn't count.
Yeah,
it would have to come from either. It would have to be either from Luke or from Leia.
Yeah, correct. But I think they can't go with Leia.
Are we sure that Han isn't actually a Skywalker or whatever, because he's an orphan?
Only if Kylo is the product of incest.
And hold on, just 1 sec, guys. Hey, Anti-Checker, how are you feeling, man?
I feel like absolute crap. And so, how are you doing, Potato Revan?
What's up, my friend?
Hey. How are you?
He's an orphan.
I'm good.
Han Solo is an orphan,
Yes, and his name comes from a stupid Imperial Guard. It's like,
that scene got the movie greenlit. I read an article that scene was the scene that got the movie greenlit.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, you know what he was doing in the beginning?
I am now less intelligent for hearing that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I read an article the other day.
He was doing a drug deal in the beginning.
To me. Guys, he damaged Anti-Trekker's one known brain cell. But Anti-Trekker, I don't know if you've covered this already, but me and the guys over on Potato Revan, right? Not on the channel, but in the Discord, we've been talking. Do you think Luke could have... I've heard you mentioning that if Luke had kids, but the thing is, do you think they said one thing which always got to me?
What does tink mean?
I will punch you. That's what I mean.
I'm just wondering. You keep saying, "Do I tink?" I don't. What does tink mean?
It's think.
Yes, Anti-Checker, please choose a tiff to be punched in. But as I
understand Potato better than you. How sad is that?
Incredibly. So, you remember in episode 7 when they were mentioning Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The fact that they're saying Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy makes me think that there's others out there.
Yes.
Well, it did say that. It did say that.
Well, it's clear that there are other force sensitives.
Yeah,
no. I don't mean force sensitive. We know that they obviously are because
they were all killed.
No, they weren't. No, Kermit, they weren't. Only the people in Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy were killed. And it was stated that only the people in Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy were killed. The fact that it keeps saying Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy makes me think that somewhere out there are other Jedis who years ago broke away. Possibly an Anti-Tracker.
There are other Jedi factions. Jedi-like factions.
No, they did say
that train differently, do everything differently. There are different races.
You guys stop. Hold on, Kermit. Breathe. Let Potato.
Sorry, Potato.
No worries, man. So my thinking is, this was a theory that we came up with ages ago, right? On what he could do with like Luke's kids. Ages ago, Luke and say his son grew up. He had a kid around the time of The Mandalorian, right? His kid grows up, and a while later, when him and Mara Jade are like, "Hey, we're starting to have theological divisions with each other, but we don't hate each other. So you go your path, and we'll go our path, and we'll work together." But that's why they call it Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy, because somewhere out there there's other Jedis. They just can't find.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
They said that there was some Jedi did
Maybe.
Yes.
Because hold on. It doesn't help if
They
we all
didn't
talk
actually
at once.
say. They didn't actually say anyone was graduated from his academy.
No,
Well,
They never said.
Did they wait? So Chief, I want to hear from what Chief was starting to say.
Yes.
So Chief,
Sorry, Chief.
Okay. Did they actually say, because you were saying they said that there's other Jedi?
No, I don't think they.
Kermit.
All right.
Let him talk. Chief.
He said someone survived, and
who said it?
I think it was her name. Well, I won't say what her name was. Kyla, but one of the celebration. It was Kathleen Kenny or something like that.
Okay, so this is not something that was said on screen.
Yeah,
hold on.
On screen. What saying was he did say, "I'm gonna finish with your father." They were chasing down the rest of the remaining Jedi. Remember, because he was chasing them. Kylo was hunting down the rest of the Jedi. They survived that thing happened.
Well, actually, I saw that as well, Chief Cook. And Andy Trekker, they actually said is, the way that they release these visual novels and things like that, which are all about the characters. They actually, in the one for The Last Jedi, it is actually stated that a couple of the Knights of Ren are actually Force sensitives. Maybe 2, possibly 3 of them are Kylo Ren's friends from the academy, and they helped take it down. Right. They are ex-Jedi. That's who she was referring to.
Yeah, and he said he was and Smoke had Kylo to hunt down the remaining survivors of the academy, and Kylo said, "I'm gonna finish what my grandfather had started, which is hunting down the Jedi."
No.
So that's what he said. So it did survive.
Yeah, that's what he said, but that's not what he meant. I think what he meant was the conquest of the galaxy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I always gathered when he said, "I'm going to finish what my grandfather started," I always figured that build the empire, control the galaxy.
I always thought that JJ had no idea what he was writing.
No, they was talking about him hunting down the rest of the Jedi. That's what he was talking about. He said it.
If you said no, because
there's a million.
They never said
There's a million ways you could interpret it. It could have meant anything, or it could have been nothing.
Still alive. Look what's still alive. Could be some of the Jedi was still alive. So
yeah, but
he was trying to find. They were trying to find Luke.
There was no one. I don't think anyone graduated from Luke's academy.
They had hunt down the Jedi, the remaining Jedi, so they can tell them where Luke was.
But let's say, so as far as what we know is this of established fact, and I mean, because there's established fact and then possibilities, right? So as far as established fact in the Star Wars universe is number of Jedi in existence. We know that like at the time in between episode 3 and 4, there are a total of 2 active Jedi, right? Yoda and Obi-Wan. And there may be other Jedi out there, right? And depending,
we know that they are other Jedi.
Yes.
Well, depending on if you consider some of the games and the animated shows canon,
yes.
then because, and I understand that there are differing opinions as far as what is and isn't canon.
Okay,
can
we agree on one thing before you
what's a ting?
Another reason to be punched.
Really, Michael?
Jedi.
Anti?
No, it's the same with Star Trek, as you have stated with Star Trek.
Right.
Right? No, and I'm not talking about like the screen, but it's what the makers and the owners of the IP, the people who run it, say is canon is canon. And what they say is canon are the comics from the time they have bought Disney onwards. The Clone Wars animated show, Star Wars Rebels, all the movies, and The Mandalorian, and the computer games, Battlefront 2 and Fallen Jedi are all canon.
I understand that, but you also have to take into account what the writers act on as canon, and that's the big thing that people tend to ignore.
Disney has writers.
Yes, Kermit. I look. We don't need to be snide about it, but when we look at like in the film series, guess what? They pretty much ignore the Clone Wars and stuff, except for as Easter egg material. They don't really look to the Clone Wars as real canon material. They just look at it as, hey, we can throw in something for an Easter egg here and there. We don't really think of that as, oh, these are major events in the story arc. The story arc is episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, etc.
Has anyone watched Bad Batch?
I have not personally, but I'm, I will get to it eventually. But it's one of those things that honestly, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to start watching Clone Wars because.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask, Anti-Tracker. You need to watch Clone Wars because this is a big issue. What I have as what comes to canon, right? And the survivability of the Jedi, because those bloody sleep chambers, the storage chambers, are one of the biggest liabilities when it comes, because you could basically say, oh, Jedi X was actually traveling through hyperspace while his ship got damaged, and then he got trapped for like 150 years while staying in stasis.
You know,
Anti-Tracker getting back.
All right, where we go? We're back.
Anti-Tracker.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I know my internet's been conking in and out. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I got your connection too.
Other than the fact that, well, the funny thing, I actually have a really good internet connection. I have fiber to the house. It's just that I'm on a really old computer, and I checked on the status of my good computer that I turned in for the because I have the extended warranty on it. I sent it in for the repair, and it currently says we've ordered parts, and that's all they've said. So it's like, oh, great, that's helpful. Yeah.
Anyway, anti-tracker. Swinging back to Solo. I think the name, having it derived from the fact that he's supposed to be a loner, doesn't make any sense because he's not always. He's rare we see Han Solo alone. He usually has somebody beside him, like Chewie.
Okay.
True, but that has nothing to do with we were talking about Jedi and.
I just wanted to say that I've been holding that in.
Okay.
That name you're right.
Okay.
There are other factions that practice the Force.
Look, here's the thing. Let's Anti-Tracker, can I bring up Christianity for a minute with it, just for an example?
You can.
Okay, so Kermit, you're saying other factions. Okay, I'm a Catholic. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say for talk's sake, all the Catholics are killed, but we still have the Baptists, we still have the Methodists, we still have all these. Are you going to tell me that there's still Catholics out there if all the Catholics were slaughtered? But there's still other people. Exactly, that's what we're talking about. It's not, forget the factions, we're talking about Jedi specifically. People who would call them, they would not call themselves Jedi. I know what you're saying, I watched this as well, but they did not call themselves Jedi. Only the people who were trained by the Jedi in the Jedi Academy called themselves Jedi. They were the only ones to do so.
In the Clone Wars, there was an avian lady that had the hots for Jar Jar Binks.
She was not a Jedi.
Just some random Force sensitive.
They have stated there are other species out there who are Force sensitive, yes. Like the Dathomir
And they
sisters.
practice in their own way.
Like
But
that,
they're not
that
Jedi.
mystical frog lady C-3PO and R2-D2 ran into in that one Clone Wars episode.
Yeah, they're not.
But I will tell you guys that, and if they start moving the film series and stuff into that, then Star Wars is doomed, right? And so that kind of stuff is not going to, a major film franchise is not going to survive on that kind of weirdness. Well, that's great, but that's not going to. A film franchise can't survive on that. Yeah. You can love it all day long, but and it can work as far as a niche animated series. It's not going to work on a major film.
They in the Clone Wars they explain how Yoda learns how to become a Force ghost.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Right. What we're talking about is how can they continue the how can they continue the Skywalker saga?
They can't.
No, they absolutely can.
Anti-Tracker, I had an idea about this. We were actually going to do a stream about this one of the days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So...
hold on a second, Chief. Let Potato Raven...
No, Chief's quieter than I am.
All right, go ahead, Chief.
Okay, I was going to say, okay, in Revenge of the Sith, Yoda did say, what's the name? Ben, some Jedi did survive, or sick, and Yoda did say, hide they must. He said, hide they must.
But Chief, it is also stated in the canon comics. I know that Anti-Tracker, like myself, is dyslexic, so he hasn't read these comics. But in the comics, it is stated that Darth Vader hunted these Jedi down methodically.
Well, actually, here's where I would go with that. Honestly, as far as what they said in Revenge of the Sith is that they changed the signal to warn any surviving Jedi to stay away. They didn't say that there are surviving Jedi. They didn't say categorically that there are Jedi out there, only that if there are Jedi out there, that they have a warning.
Yeah.
And in episodes...
You say, hide they must.
Yes, but also, that's the thing. They don't know how many they actually are.
Or if there are any.
Yeah,
they're just saying, like, look, they have to hide.
Yeah.
Like, they need to get out of here. They have to
Some of them did hide.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We do not know that.
Actually, Anti-Tracker, you know the brown guy who looked like Darth Maul from... you would have seen him in episode 1 of the council members. He was like basically brown Darth Maul with what looked to be like dreadlocks.
You mean Life with Matthew?
I mean,
no, someone prettier than him.
I mean, maybe there's a canon version of Rom Coda somewhere out there from, the Force Unleashed games.
You know what? Even if they did survive, it would be hard. It'd be hard for the Empire to track them down.
No, it's actually easy it's actually incredibly easy for the Empire to track them down, because this is kind of convoluted, but it is stated that they're one thing, but the thing is, there's so many stormtroopers and so many people who hate the Jedi now that if anyone shows up saying I am a Jedi or shows abilities of the Jedi, Inquisitors will show up and they will be caught.
Right. In fact, if you played any of the...
What about the Force-sensitive groups?
Hold on. It's actually, and I haven't played it all the way through, and I know it's not canon, but if you want a good idea of what the socio-political structure would be like, is in the Fallen Order game, the way that people react when they start talking about Jedi is people think of Jedi as basically terrorists.
Anti-Tracker, that is canon. That is 100% canon.
Well,
Yeah, it is.
What about
regardless, I don't think of when I think of a video game like that, because like I like Force Unleashed and I do like that game, but you know what? The last thing I think of that game is hard canon, because you know what? 99.99% of fans aren't going to see that.
In the second Force Unleashed, they actually captured Darth Vader.
But that's not canon. But
Anti-Tracker,
so what?
That's that's legend. So that's legends.
To hunt down the Jedi because he's the
Hey,
only one who can sense Jedi.
Chief,
But
can
would
you
they
up
have-
the gain on your mic?
Would they have killed the guy? Would they have killed the guy who looked like a Jedi?
Yes.
Who looked like a
They were
Jedi that
hidden.
they're looking
Only
for?
Darth Vader
Yes.
sense Jedi because he's a Jedi.
If they
That's why
if they didn't know if it was a Jedi, would they just have shot him?
No. What there's ways like they can feel each other. Like if Anti-Tracker,
Remember, you can sense people through the Force.
Yeah.
Anti-Tracker, you
If
haven't
there's
watched
like
Rebels.
10
They wear plain clothes for plain clothes people.
So I'll tell you something, Kermit. In Star Wars,
Obi-Wan wore the hood.
yeah, but in Star Wars Rebels, when somebody sees Darth Vader, they start freaking out, and when they see an Inquisitor, he states, "I feel nothing but cold."
Jedi. They can sense Jedi. They can sense Jedi. That's why.
You know,
Like,
That's why.
What about if it's just a normal stormtrooper and
if it's a normal stormtrooper, Kermit, listen to
No,
me, man.
no. Listen to me. If they're at a checkpoint and
They
there's
feel
a guy.
the coldness because
No,
what you're
listen
sensing
to
is somebody's sensing.
Guys, stop! Yeah, wait. Please don't yell at each other. Okay,
Kermit. What? Okay, I know what you're talking about. So if you are a normal stormtrooper, and I'm going through your checkpoint, right? You know when they're being scanned, their blood has been scanned already. That is what it is. Their blood has already been scanned, which they can tell you're a Jedi by your blood.
How can they tell if they don't know it?
They could be changelings.
I will punch you. But no, because when the Empire started registering everyone, they started taking their DNA, and thanks to bloody Episode 1, there's metachlorians. So if your metachlorian's above a certain number, that means you are a force sensitive.
Where's the record? Where's the record of all the Jedi they listed?
It's stated in the comics that Darth Vader and the other Inquisitors have records. They have lists. They have targets who they are going after.
Okay,
well, it would be in the Jedi archives. I mean, because
no, it was not.
The archives weren't destroyed. They had
that became Palpatine's palace. That became Palpatine's palace. The temple is Palpatine's palace, and he has all the archives inside. Now, Anti-Tracker, back to what we were originally saying. My idea for how you could continue on.
Well, first, before you get to that, I just want to say hi to George, since he hasn't said a word. Hey, George.
Hi. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to make this short so I don't interfere with everybody's communication here. Anti-Tracker, just a heads up, the spaceship, I have a first generation 3D print.
Oh, cool.
I sent it to your Twitter account. This was a while ago. But I'm sad to hear about your health issues. But
that's why I haven't said much.
I got it, and I'm very, very happy that you're persevering. I just want to throw this out here to the chat, and I'm going to leave so you guys can talk about it. They talked about they're going to use the Veil of the Force to disable the Disney Star Wars and continue the Star Wars saga. So. But hold on a sec, don't interrupt.
Sorry. They've actually said that.
Jeez, guys.
I mean, it's a possibility.
But let me submit this to you. There's an even easier way to disable the Star Wars saga, the Disney Star Wars saga, and that is the moment where Luke was Force looking, whatever you want to call it, Kylo Ren. He could have just saw the entire Star Wars saga as a vision in front of him. And instead of using his lightsaber to solve the problem, he would say to the kid, "Hey, kid, I know what's going to happen in the future. Come on, let's fix this." And it's over.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, I'm out.
There's actually a theory right now Oh, and we also lost Star Trek. There's actually a theory out there.
That's going to piss off so many people.
There's a theory out there right now called the Ahsoka Tano theory. Okay? Where the Disney Star Wars is if Ahsoka died, but then you have Mandalorian where Ahsoka survived. Because it's like, what if she didn't save Grogu, then the Empire gets his blood, then they do all this stuff, compared to if Ahsoka had actually survived.
Ahsoka didn't save Grogu.
The only thing they can do is take that boy we saw in the last name episode and say that boy is related to Luke and
I don't know.
And call it a day and start with him
and stream.
Anything else?
So
I literally got kicked out of my own stream, so I couldn't hear what George said. I don't even know. Is the stream still going on YouTube? Because I don't know.
Hold on.
We're still here. We're still here.
Yep, it's still going. So, my idea, now the guys, we've been bouncing around this one. Basically, what I say is you have Luke Skywalker had kids and they left years ago for differential reasons. But they are out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have them going on in the future, and you have, say, maybe 400 or 500 years in the future. You have a load of Jedi, something's happening, there's another war, blah, blah, blah. Usual Star Wars stuff. Then you have it showing up that there's a load.
Wait. For the villains, do you just want another Empire? Because I think that's going to get repetitive at this point.
But I'm just let me finish. Right? And then you see him, and there's a Force version of the 501st storming the temple, taking it back for these guys. And they're standing there, and you see this man there with, like, turning down his green or blue lightsaber, putting it on his hip, and he's standing looking out. And this woman walks up and is like, Master, we've been wishing for this for all these hundreds of years. And he looks at it and it's like, yes. And he hears someone going, Master Skywalker, over here. And he walks over and you see that then a girl walks up and she's like, Daddy. Right? And he picks her up and he's like, says to someone, oh yeah, we've done it, we've taken it. Then it cuts to a couple of hundred years after that, and the Jedi are reestablished, and then we have, like, Luke Skywalker's descendants. We have
well, I'm gonna use the words of any tracker. If it's not on film, it's not canon.
I was saying this is how we could.
I wanted to apologize, by the way, for yelling at you guys.
Sorry, it's just
no worries.
Just sometimes you guys get worked up, and you got to catch yourself when you're doing that. So when and because sometimes we all have a tendency to do it sometimes, so we got to be careful not to get hot-headed.
I wasn't sure you were getting you weren't even trying to listen to what I was trying to say.
It's all right, man. We're all friends here.
Okay.
Except for me, I'm the enemy.
We're all friends sometimes.
I don't. Right now, we don't have Tim Christ or LDG or Bird of Prey. You know, none of my normal enemies are here, so I'm not.
Yeah, but I'm the one with the most Trek knowledge of anyone here.
We're all friends sometimes, but then again, I have no problem with any of your so-called enemies.
There you go. So here's the thing, Potato Revan. I wouldn't start out. You jump into the Skywalker thing. Here's how I would kind of try to push it. I would, you go to a long time ago, galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
We have basically, what I think we're gonna would do is like a birth of a rebellion kind of story.
Okay.
And we start out with a person who basically is, think of a character similar to what we saw with Rey in the beginning of Force Awakens. Scavenger, down on their luck, not much going on, basically, scrapping to stay alive kind of thing. But very gifted as far as, very quick with reflexes, basically shows some Jedi traits, but Jedi are something that people, that's not in the lexicon, not something people have ever heard of or anything. And then so they're similar to the Rey thing. So they're scrapping old ships and stuff like that. Stumbles across a holocron and doesn't know what the heck it is, but it's kind of glowing, trying to figure out what it is, and takes it to a friend. Friend takes it. When the friend takes it from her or him, doesn't matter, doesn't glow. Hands it back to our main character, glows again. Hands it back, doesn't glow. So they're trying to figure, well, that's weird. It kind of reacts to you, not to you. And then, because a holocron, you have to
force-activated device.
Right. And so eventually they figure out how to open the thing. And that's when they find that the only way to open this, they finally find someone that can open this thing, because only the descendant of a Skywalker can open it.
Are Wayfinders
and
holocrons the same thing?
Hang on a second. You know how they said that they're taking apart ships or whatever? They take it back to the barracks that night, and they're trying to figure it out, and then everyone sees it, and then they try to pass it around to see what they can do, or someone takes it. Because you would probably have to have you'd probably be too busy to do it right then.
There's actually something from the Clone Wars that might actually help with this. Anti-Tracker, you have not seen the Clone Wars yet, have you?
I haven't seen all of it. I've seen like the first couple.
Have you seen the Younglings episode?
Is it an episode just called The Younglings?
Yeah, it's about them going to the planet of Ilum to get the crystals.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, David Tennant's in that one as a droid. Huang.
Yes. So basically, there's the Kyber crystals for a specific Jedi will light up, and only that Jedi can see it. So instead of saying it lights up for everyone, what it could be is everyone's like, "Oh yeah, look at this trinket, it's just an empty box." Well, your man's like, "Dude, this is glowing really bright. How can you not see this?"
Wait, wouldn't anyone be able to see it glowing?
No, it's called calling.
Okay, I got a better idea. Okay, we start off with that boy working the barnyard, the farm. That boy was the boy we saw in that Jedi with broomstick. All right, your boy.
Broom boy,
yeah. He probably the same age what Luke was. Minding his own business, there cleaning the horse, skin stables and everything, and out of blue he comes up and a very older Jedi, not like Ben, just passing through, and he finally sensed something which he haven't seen in a long time. Another Jedi, or force sensitive Jedi. So he saw him.
Jedi, it'd be force sensitive. Jedi is kind of an actual religion.
But force sensitive, some person.
Yeah.
Okay. So
my only problem there is, and don't mean to cut you off, but and I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think on this though, is I want to push it out a ways because I want a clean break from the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't get to.
I do too.
I'm saying it's peace. There's no war. There's nothing. Everything's going great.
Yeah.
It just somebody passing by just happened to send somebody there, and he his kid.
Then it'd be called Peace War, Star Peace, or whatever.
No, there's no empire. There's no nothing. Only fraction is there's still some Sith out there, and maybe still some Jedi out there. It's just more people now.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chief. They don't have to fight the Sith. All there has to be is a dark side, but anti-tracker.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You could push it out 1,000 years, a couple of 100 years even.
I'm saying that there's no empire. There's no rebellion. It's just peace.
Well, if it's peace, then what are they?
It wouldn't be called Star Wars if there's peace.
Wait a minute.
Well, that can change.
Well, we could always use Potato Revan's idea and just call it Ting.
I'm talking about all these.
Ting, the
What are you
punching
making fun
of a disabled man.
What are you making fun of Potato Revan for?
Because he's Irish.
Okay.
That's no reason to make fun of the Irish.
Well, I'm
They've
Irish.
had-
I'm
they've
Irish
had-
too, so yes, it is.
Well, so am I.
No,
Irish, British, and German.
It's not very nice.
Dude, we've been ripping on each other for years at this stage.
Yeah.
I started an entire running joke on this channel that Anti-Checker's a dwarf.
Me and my mom riff on each other all the time.
Okay. I was saying was there's no war, there's no nothing. No, everything is quiet. Nothing.
There can't. It has to. There has to be a war somewhere because it's called Star Wars.
Yeah, but Kermit, he's not finished talking. Just let him speak.
I'm just saying there's nothing. Everything is peaceful. No, it's over. No, there's no empire. There's no emperor. There's no rebels. Everybody is peaceful. Everything's back like it was for like the Clone Wars. Everything is right. It just what happened was like an older Jedi, normal clothes, minding body, just passed by, and he said something, and he investigated. Like he didn't say anything like anything in a long time, and it just happened to be this boy working his horse stable. You know, he watches him and looked at him, and he finally had the courage to go up and boy somehow got him, say maybe he was some bad guys or something like that. And you see him do something. So you know this boy's not trained to be anything like this. So he meets the boy, several years, and he started a relationship. I was like Ben, like that, and all of a sudden, the same thing happened in another part of the universe. Where,
A literal Force Awakens.
Yeah, something like this.
That's an idea me and my friends have had before. That you see like a montage of people all over the galaxy. Like you see Brown Boy doing something, then you see someone else in the bar, and he's like, "Hey, give me that drink," and he puts his hand out like that, like to try to drink them, and the drink just flies across the bar. He's looking at his hands and things like that. And it's like a literal Force Awakens.
Yeah. So like every Force sensitive across the galaxy,
becomes a Force user.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying something similar to that, and you see planet where there's still some survivors of the old set guard or set people in that, and he's doing like that. They're not trying to rule galaxy, but they are trying to get rid of all the remaining Jedi because they blame the Jedi for what happened to them.
Here's your problem with that, Cook. If the Jedi are gone by this point, they have no one to fight.
Well,
they have no one to blame.
No,
what about the Mandalorians? Why don't make them the big villains?
Actually, you can blame whoever the hell you want. They don't have to be alive anymore, but you can still blame the Jedi if they're long gone.
Come on, they're still there. They're still trying to survive, and they got home alive. These doctors and mechanics, and they're doing nothing. They're not doing any force training like that because they didn't want to start no war.
You know what this actually sounds like, honestly? Have any of you seen The Legend of Korra?
Yes, I have.
The rebirth of the Air Nation, where they were going around to all the airbenders, and it was like people who worked in factories, people with homes, with families, were like, "Hey, why don't you join us and become an airbender?" And they're like, no, but they still had airbending abilities. But the air nomads it took them a long time to get like a few people to join them.
They also have They also have I've also read the comics.
I was trying to say was that there are some people, some sets out there, and they trying to recruit people who think they are force sensitive into the old way, and that's how they manage meet up with them because they know he is force sensitive, so they trying to train him into being himself and the old Jedi who said and said no, and that's what the conflict started happening.
Well, there's something interesting from The Mandalorian along those lines that people need to be trained. When Grogu's like saw Cara Dune,
You can't train to be a bender.
I'm not talking about that, dude. I'm talking about Star Wars. When in
That's all we
Mandalorian,
ever talk about.
Yeah, that's what.
So
Anyway,
so I'm saying it. So I'm saying is the premise of the show is that they're old Jedi's are trying to find any force. Same thing as the Sith. The Sith trying to find also forces Jedi so they can rekindle that Sith. There's not no empire.
then if you do that, then it could basically lead into a form of Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi versus Sith Wars.
I have an idea that I think
Go
would
ahead.
be. Well, I just kind of thought of it because I was trying to think of, because one thing that someone said earlier, and it's true, is that the problem that you're going to have with your next Star Wars trilogy is, well, are you going to just have another empire? Is it just going to be wash, rinse, repeat, another trilogy, same old thing?
I'd bring back the Yuzon Vong.
That's what I think.
I don't know what the Yuzon Vong is, but
They were an alien race from another galaxy.
Well,
that used biotechnology, and their armor was immune from the Force.
Well, I think I have something that would be unique and different and borrowed from my personal favorite franchise. So what if you had a group of people that were sick of these religious fanatics controlling the universe, namely the Jedi and the Sith.
Right. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right. So we have these, kind of like, because the Emperor makes a legit point in Attack of the Clones when he's talking about the dogmatic Jedi and when he was trying to basically poison the well with Anakin, right? When he was like, and so what if you start having a rising tide in the populist view that, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't want a theocracy. Maybe we don't want these super powered religious zealots controlling everything about our lives. And maybe the answer isn't another super powered group of religious zealots, namely the Sith, right?
Yeah.
But how do you combat these people when they're all a bunch of super powered religious zealots?
Because the new government will hunt them down.
Right. So how do you combat that? Is there a way to combat that? And guess what? There is. And so here's what you do. And so you create a and I imagine something that looks something like a Borg suit with the wires and stuff, except that the Borg suit is pumping fluid into the various extremities of the person, and the fluid is injecting the extremities with hormones that is chock full of a synthetic form of midichlorians.
Well, actually,
and so basically, and so it gives them basically an artificially boosted form of a control over the Force, unlike what the Jedi or the Sith have ever been able to have. So basically, they're like super Jedi or super Sith. They just, but they can't like maintain it.
No. I got a better idea.
You don't need to actually do any of that.
That works.
Wait a minute. Okay, what's that stuff they call in the blood with a Jedi?
Midichlorians.
Yeah, midichlorians. That's what I'm saying. So this is a synthetic midichlorian, and here's where I get the idea: Plato's stepchildren. That's exactly what Kirk and Spock did to combat the.
They don't have to do that. All I have to do is.
Are we forgetting?
You watch too much Star Trek.
I do, but that's
you watch way
too much Star Trek.
It wouldn't work as well at first, but then they'd refine it. The process until it did work.
we're all forgetting something. There's already a race of Jedi killers out there who don't need the Force. The Mandalorians. They've been killing Jedi for centuries.
No,
Right,
And
but
they
all you have to do is say the new government has some secret police that can track Jedi with that like a scanner or something, and they use that to hunt the Jedi or the Sith or anybody who have that money on their blood, and they and capture them and put them away or kill them like this, so the stuff won't rise up. And also, so that's what I'm talking about. That's a great idea. But when we see or know is that the young, older Jedi and some call maybe a person who may be related to Luke has this strong blood in their blood, they start tracking them down. At the same time, the Sith also trying to track them down because they blame them, blame him, or his grandfather, for killing them. So you got three fractions going after each other.
Or what you could even do, just this is going to be weird, is you have three descendants of the Skywalkers with three different views, and they're kind of having their own civil war of force users, and have a new version of the Jedi Civil War.
Well, I'm calling it civil war because, like I said, Amtrak is right. No, nobody wants this no more. Nobody actually learning the Jedi way. Nobody. It's just everybody is the old ways are gone. There's no Sith. Nobody.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't need to get it. Like the Mandalorians have been using basically bullets, like slugs, right? Which, if fired, the Jedi can't really catch. You screw with their senses. You use fire, you use gas, you use things like that against them. Then you fire slugs at them, because if the Jedi try to stop it with their lightsabers, then they've got molten magma going at their face.
Or have the government ban.
You know, I would dare say, sorry, Potato Revan, but I would dare say that what we saw in Mandalorian Season 2 in the season finale, that Luke Skywalker versus Mando gets his face curb stomped.
This might be the geekiest conversation we've ever had on this channel.
Well, Andy Turner, let's be honest, Mandalorian isn't a true Mandalorian either. He's not even trained by them. He's basically trained by an armor.
I just
okay, show me a Mandalorian that Luke Skywalker wouldn't curb stomp.
I just gave you a link to something that is anti-force sensitive in the private chat that they could use to fight the Jedi.
But I think that the point is that the a lizard?
It's look at what it does.
But I don't want to watch a lizard fight a Jedi.
No, you wear it around your neck.
How can you get a lizard to wear around your neck?
Then the force doesn't work on it. Then the force it's an anti-force creature.
But how can you get a living creature to go around your neck and stay there as living jewelry?
Or put a cage on your back.
Oh boy!
Then it will eat you the cage. It'll eat you your back.
But the point though, it's like with my idea of using the synthetic midichlorians is something like that. Now, if you could, you can like shoot lightning and stuff better than they can.
No, you can't.
Shut up. I'm writing this story. Yes, you can. All right. In the story that I'm writing, yes, you can. All right. So and you can levitate objects better than they can. The only, so basically now you've got, because the idea is what you're trying to do is create a visually appealing, interesting story. And so now your Jedi have to overcome enemies that are better at what they do than they are.
But what about
they can use glowy sticks better than Jedi can? You know, the glowy sticks that they fight with.
Wait a minute. What about, like I said before, is the new government They're in charge now, and they don't want. They're not going to take the same mistake they did last.
You know
time.
what people don't go to Star Wars for? New government stuff.
Well, I'm saying. I'm saying.
Look,
I'm saying.
I've even had an idea of like you go somewhere where something's already instead of having a new galactic trek. What about trek? What about a local one?
A local what?
A local trek.
A local trek?
Oh,
Maybe
a local trek.
No, I'm saying trek. I'm saying there's peace. There's no war. No nothing. You're not trying to make the same.
You're not getting it. It would not be called Star Wars.
So these crazy Jedi's and these crazy Sith rise up and try to take over the modern government now. So they ban that stuff.
Yeah, you
can't ban any. You can't ban the Jedi.
And they ban it, and all of a sudden, like
Carmen, that's called the Empire.
No Empire.
Yes, it is.
It's no Empire. I'm saying
no. Banning the Jedi was the Empire.
Calm down.
Calm down.
I'm saying 2,000 years. There's no Empire. It's just a regular government control everything. Like it was. It's peace.
Then it wouldn't be Star Wars. You're not getting it.
No, Kermit, you do realize that, like, for example, in the Clone Wars, like in Star Wars, in the prequel trilogy, there was no war in the Phantom Menace at all.
Right.
Okay, so
there's not conflict. Is my point.
I'm saying
right, but there was no war, so don't get mad at him.
No, you're right. Sorry about that.
Right, you're getting all worked up that he's trying to say that, because in the trilogy, usually you don't have the big action start until probably the latter half of the second movie. All right, so
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. You just
Donald Duck orange juice.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. There's peace. Everybody they pick up the crowns from the last or the previous war, and everything going. And inside they don't want to make that same mistake twice. No hidden religion gonna come back and try and take over and create a new empire again. So they banned this. They banned it.
Well,
wait. Let me finish. I'm finished. They banned it. All of a sudden, they pick up disturbance when, like I said, the old Jedi somehow meets an old Sith, and like I said, some conflict happened, and they found out so they had a secret security like a NSA, like that, or Homeland Security kind of group, and they say, no, we believe these people are maybe Jedi or Sith, so we might question real quick before they rise up your power again.
Just what we need, more government.
No, it's not. No, not government. No anything government.
Yes,
security.
That's what you're saying.
So
Kermit,
stop.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm getting so emotional.
Good boy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So this secret security group is trying to hunt these the Jedi and the Sith. So you got three people trying to get each other, trying to stop each other, so they don't want to raise more powerful group. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to stop the religion from growing again. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can't really stop a religion from growing very well if it goes underground.
Chief Cook, you also have a problem because you've obviously not seen all of Star Wars.
Remember, Bert? Wait. Let me answer that. If you remember,
you know how big the galaxy is.
Hold on, Kermit. Let him talk.
If you remember in New Hope, when Darth Vader was in that big chamber with Tarkin, one of the guys said, "Why you Darth Vader still practice their old religion?" And he got choked. Remember? That's why.
Yes.
A religion.
Yeah, but also at the same time, there's the sister. There's people like the Sisters of Dathomir. There's the fucking weird group from Star Wars Rebels who are all like the priests of this planet. Then there's another group where there's priests on another planet. It's not just one thing. The problem that you have at this point is if you're going to do that, you're going to have whoever's in charge, who's ever doing this, it's going to be viewed as the Empire, because you're not just wiping out one thing. You're literally making an atheist universe, an atheist galaxy.
And I'm trying to make it fair. I'm saying is
I know that.
Trying to make sure these two superpowers gain powers again.
No, but what I'm just saying is that I'm not even talking about the Jedi or the Sith. I'm just saying, in Star Wars now, it's been established that they are a load of priests on a load of different planets who all use the Force. So this is your problem, because now you have these people whoever's in charge of the galaxy would be saying,
go
ahead.
Where's the Jedi Temple? Where's it at?
Which Jedi Temple are you on about? Because there's multiple.
The main one, the main.
Coruscant.
Okay. Say that is the central government right there.
It already was in the.
But you can build another temple anywhere. You can build a temple anywhere.
No, I'm talking about the government there. I'm talking about there's a central government right there. It's crime, it's peace thing.
No, but you can build a temple anywhere.
They have a president there or vice president. Everything right. There's no Jedi Temple. Matter of fact, the Jedi Temple is a museum. All right, that's how it is, a big museum.
Also, its primary purpose is to act as a training center for Padawans, etc. But
yeah, no, but they closed.
And you can build that anywhere.
I'm saying they closed down. They can't go up there because the main purpose is they are scared to have these two fractions rise up again and start something else again.
Do you also know how big that galaxy is, and how many unexplored areas there are?
Well, the problem there, Kermit, and this is a problem Star Wars has had from day one. Star Wars has a huge issue with scale, because I mean, and I know that. Look, I love Star Wars. I truly do. It's my second favorite sci-fi franchise. So please don't act like I don't care. But you have a battle with some 30 rebel ships deciding the fate of an entire galaxy.
But this has always been my problem as well, because you always hear, this rebel fleet, that rebel fleet. It's like, well, bring them all into one place.
Right. Well, and like the Battle of Endor is like the entire rebel fleet is going to attack the second Death Star. They're massing everything they have, and they have the equivalent of what? A couple of Star Destroyers worth of firepower?
I'll be back in a minute.
Did they actually say how much firepower they have?
No, but you can see it. I mean, they have one big, what are they called? The fish
capital ship.
Yeah.
Mon Calamari cruiser.
Yeah, Mon Calamari. They had one big Mon Calamari cruiser. And
actually, I think they had more. But they only showed one.
They had a couple of them, because one of them got destroyed, but the one that Admiral Akbar did not get destroyed. So,
well, I'll bring up the shot, but
because if you remember,
the ship's name is Home One.
Hold on, the Death Star destroyed one of the Mon Calamari ships when they
had more than one capital ship, but there was one ship that was larger than the rest of the fleet.
What I'm saying is that there was at least two Mon Calamari ships,
but none of those ships were as big as even a single Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, you're probably right about that.
And the Imperial fleet that was there to stop them was only about 30 Star Destroyers. And I mean, and this is, and I mean, why didn't the Emperor bring in a fleet of some 30,000 Star Destroyers?
That was the biggest fleet they had, apparently.
Well, but the thing is that and I know fans of Star Wars that try to say how epic the Empire really is will say, oh well, yeah, he could have brought in that, but they were all busy dealing with logistics and stuff. It's like, no, if this was seriously going to be wiping out the rebels once and for all, this was going to be the most important battle of all time.
Well,
you would bring in more than 30 ships.
You could say if they brought in more than 30 ships, the rebels would have been aware of the movement and all those ships. They would have detected them. They would have found out that through other channels that they were being moved. The idea was that this is a trap, so they had to keep it on the down low a little bit. It was a trap.
I'm sorry. No, I'm going to call B, because first of all, do you know how big a planet is? You could hide a fleet of 1 million ships on the other side of a planet, and
but the Botham spies and all the people working for Mon Mothma would have heard about all this movement if the Empire really diverted all their forces there.
Not if they didn't want them to know.
They would have heard about it.
Why?
The idea is that the idea was that the Empire wanted to make it look like there was nothing going on there.
Not if they didn't know. Not if they didn't want them to know.
And besides, remember, the information they had, the Emperor leaked. Their security was airtight. They had they absolutely 100% of everything that they found out from the Bothan spies. The Emperor purposely leaked. So
and don't forget, at the same time, the Emperor was also constantly testing Darth Vader.
Yeah,
he was playing with them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a joke. Everything so the scale. There's always been a huge problem with scale in Star Wars. And granted,
not only scale, time.
Yeah, and I mean. It's been a problem. It's a sci-fi issue in general, but Star Wars just gets it laughingly bad. But and that's why, that's why I don't have a problem with in Empire. I believe that Luke was training with Yoda for months, possibly years.
It was even at least a couple of weeks.
No. It was a lot more than weeks.
Andy Trekker, I just think it was 7 years. For some reason,
I think it was. I think you're probably close. I think you're right, Potato.
What makes you think it was 7 years?
Because I don't know. Because the Falcon was in the Hoth system. He had to go to another star system without hyperdrive in order to get the Falcon repaired. And they did that while Luke was training with Yoda.
Yeah.
Can I say something about the?
That's
the
a good point.
Can I say something about the distances in Empire Strikes Back? This is just my opinion on it. All right. Yeah. The ships in Star Wars, they can go between planets because that's their. It's a fantasy. It's not really scientifically accurate. Right. But the way I see it, and this is just how I see it. My analogy that I came up with. Right now, I live in the Poconos, which is about 90 minutes from New York City.
I'm so sorry.
So
yes, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Let
me just the worst thing about it is he's near Kuroga.
Yeah. So what I was saying is I could take my car to New York City, but I can't take a plane to New York City. But I can take a plane to Florida, right? So if that's kind of comparison to light speed in Star Wars, the hyperdrive, he could get from one system to another without needing hyperdrive, but it takes a lot longer. But there are certain things he can't do. He can't go to Coruscant, because that would be like me driving to France. I can't drive to France. I can drive to Florida. It would take me a while. And the way I compare it is him going from Anoad, which is the system with the asteroids. Him going from Anoad to Bespin would be like me driving from the Poconos to Florida. It would take me a lot of time, but I could make it. It would be a pain in the ass to drive it, but I could make it. So I don't really. That's just my comparison. It's the distances.
I thought he had a smaller emergency hyperdrive.
Yeah, or it's just they go between systems, but they can't go between. They can't jump over the center of the galaxy or the big obstacles that they have in the galaxy. But they can go between certain systems. It just takes a while. But it's not scientific.
I know that, but
if you were to go between here and Proxima Centauri, how far is Proxima Centauri? 2 point something light years, right?
No, it's 4.5 light years.
4.5. Okay, so if you could go at almost light speed, right? You could get there in, we'll just say 5 years, right? Now, the Falcon can go how fast?
0.5.
I don't believe.
Wait. The Falcon can go. We know exactly how fast the Falcon can go. 0.5 beyond light speed. Now, we don't know 0.5 beyond light speed exactly what that means, but we know it can go a little faster than the speed of light. So that tells us that, okay, so if you were to try and go to a nearby solar system, so from the Hoth system, which is where they were, because they never engaged hyperdrive when they
were in the NOAD system.
That asteroid belt
They do have a backup.
Kermit, let me finish.
They were in the NOAD system.
Let me finish, Mercer. They never engaged the hyperdrive.
I know, but they still went to the NOAD system.
They never engaged the hyperdrive.
They have.
I don't care. Wait. They never engaged the hyperdrive. So I don't care what map you're reading. I don't care what book you're reading. They never engaged the hyperdrive.
Not that we saw.
Which means, no, not that we saw. We watched the entire. Unless you haven't watched the movie.
You clearly haven't watched it in a long time, Anti-Tracker.
They never engaged the freaking hyperdrive.
And no, they had a class 10 backup.
But guys, let's look at it your logic. If there was
a working NOAD system, because they actually say, "Where are we?" Oh, we're in the NOAD system.
That doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, look at it your logic. If there was a working hyperdrive system, the first thing they do, hit the hyperdrive engine.
Right. So the NOAD, and I remember when he says that, he said, "Where are we? The NOAD system? NOAD system, not much there." And so then he says, Bespin, Lando, and there's Lando's system. No, Lando's not a system. He's a man. Anyway, but and he says, Bespin's pretty far, but I think we can make it. Now, that's indicating that that's pushing it to get there.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right. So that's years for them to get there, most likely.
No, that's not the way it works.
Hold on. No, what do you mean that's not the way that it works? They're trying to figure out how to get there. They're pushing the capabilities of the Falcon to get there. That's exactly how it works.
They have a Class 10 hyperdrive as well.
They have a broken hyperdrive.
But no, they have a Class 10 backup.
They don't. They have a hyperdrive that doesn't work.
They have a backup.
My point is...
No, they do not, Kermit. They do not have a functioning hyperdrive. They do not have hyperdrive capability. That is very clear in this movie.
Kermit, what you're looking at is later retcons to the ship.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing as well...
I should not have opened this can of worms.
And Mrs. Andy-Tricker, I woke her up. I'm sorry, babe.
But the thing about it at the same time
I'm sorry for getting so worked up over this as well.
God, you're forgetting about one crucial technology that exists in Star Wars that keeps you at the same age. Stasis.
Yeah, I gotta go, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Bye.
But yeah, I have no problem with the idea that it took them a few years to get there.
Do you think that they were in stasis?
No, because I think that that's also what gave it. Because here's the thing: by the time they get from, because if you consider that they when they were on Hoth, Leia and Han hated each other. By the time we get to Bespin. I love you. I know.
My objection to that, real quick before I go, is that Lucas was thinking stories have to be told fast. Star Wars is fast-paced storytelling. The beats are, maybe not as fast as we're watching it, but these stories are usually in relatively short frames of time, and the pacing is a little fast.
Lucas didn't write it,
but he supervised it. I'm talking about the kind of storytelling they were doing. Spielberg, Lucas, Kasdan, all those guys. They were doing fast-paced stories. They didn't take place over years. They took place over a short period of time. It's
Do you
just
have
the way
proof
he
of that?
told
I
stories.
actually agree with Anti-Tracker on this.
And you don't become a Jedi Knight with a couple
Well, he
of weeks.
didn't become a Jedi Knight. He became well versed in the Force, but he
By
didn't
the end
become
of
a Jedi
episode
Knight.
six.
You don't do that in a couple of weeks.
By the end of episode 6, he was a Jedi Master.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason that people
He
like
was not a Jedi Master. It's a Jedi Knight, maybe at the end of episode 6, but that was after a lot of training.
Yeah, that training that he received in episode 5. And in fact, in episode 6, when he goes back to Yoda, what does Yoda say? No more training do you require.
Yeah, you missed the point about that. But
Hey, Daniel.
No, you know what? At the end of episode 5, he says, okay, guys, I'll meet you over in Tatooine. First thing we see in episode 6, hey, guys, we're here on Tatooine. So there's no time gap there. There's zero time gap between those two films. So it's not like there's this big gap where Luke was training in between.
But
you're missing the point, though. You're missing
No,
the point.
I'm not.
Because,
the point is that Luke was training with Yoda
when Yoda
during
said,
that time.
no more training do you require, he meant that becoming a Jedi was more than about training. It's about what he realizes about himself as a person and his relationship with his father. He had to learn that last lesson to really grasp it. So none of the training was really getting to it. What it was about him transcending the training and realizing what his relationship with his father was. That was what Yoda meant. Yoda meant that he had come to a revelation about himself as a person, and that he needed to get through that. That's what he meant when he said, "No more training do you require.
Right,
learn all that you will know."
He'd gone through all the basic training, and now the only thing he needed to do was confront Vader again, and he was done.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like it was just a task. We're talking about Yoda was trying to teach him who he was as a person, and that was how Yoda was getting him to become something better than he was. You know what I mean? And that would be the way to get to the Jedi, and Yoda's kind of way of teaching him.
But the point here is that it's not like and the underlying thing here is that the Falcon didn't just hop, skip, and a jump to get from the NOAD or Hoth
I'm
system.
saying my analogy I used before would be like me driving to Florida. It would have taken a while, but not incredibly long. It would have just taken longer.
In space, it was an incredibly long time. All right, it was. In space, you don't go sublight speed. You don't drive to the neighboring star system overnight.
But Star Wars is not scientifically accurate about the what sublight, warp, and hyperspace and all that. It's just it's more like, okay, you just go from one place to the other. It's like a Western. You go from one state to the other.
Guys, in current canon, Luke spent 18 months on Dagobah.
All right, well, whatever. We got it now. Good.
I put something in that's from the Disneys in the private chat.
Well, there you go. That's Disney for you, man. That's a later retcon. That is a later retcon.
True, I'm just telling you what I found.
Slave 1 is retcon too, and I'm so angry about Slave 1.
What's
Boba
Fett's ship called now?
I don't know.
Boba Fett's ship. It's called Boba Fett's ship.
Actually, guys, what's going on with that is if you actually pay attention and have a look, it's a marketing speak. They have all the ships listed by their names. It's like Luke's ship, General Grievous' ship. They don't have their actual names. They have not renamed it. It is just the name on a bloody toy box.
And hey, Positive Candor, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm glad everything is so politically incorrect nowadays.
Oh yeah, I agree. How are you feeling, buddy? I know that
everything.
What's going on with your nerves?
You shouldn't call it Star Wars anymore because wars is territory.
They'll call it Star Aggressive Disagreement.
Yeah, that'll be next. But anyway,
no, seriously, how's your nerve situation?
It's crappy. to say the least.
Do we have any updates? Any significant updates since the last time you and I have spoken?
No, not really.
It's still in my thoughts and prayers, buddy. Anyway, anything to add to our aggressive negotiation? The length of time
like I said, you can't call it Star Wars anymore because wars is going to become a derogatory term sooner or later. You know, so they'll have to rename the whole damn thing to A New Hope or something like that, because I guess hope, you know, springs eternal.
They'll have to. Oh man, what are they going to call all this stuff?
Yeah,
so war will become. They'll have to call it.
I guess.
Reorganization. Reorganization. That's what we'll call war from now on.
Yes.
Jim Henry says debates, Star Debates.
Yeah.
That'll be the new franchise name. Star
Violently obtaining freedom.
Well, they did say the term negotiation.
Aggressive negotiations is what Anakin said is what they called
negotiations with a lightsaber.
Right. So anyway, and thank you. The podcast with Ian Slater throws in a couple of bucks. Says Star Skirmish with laser swords and pew pew. So did you have any input as for the length of time that Luke was training with Yoda? So the consensus with me and Potato Revan is that it was about 18 months. Well, but Mercer thinks it was much shorter.
The movie was only for 30 minutes, but
right.
But you can condense a lot into a movie.
Well, yeah, but I got the feeling that it was actually longer than 18 months, but I'm okay with 18 months.
To me, you never stop training.
I would say about 5 days.
You know, I mean, to me, you never stop training. You start.
Right, but I'm saying the length of time that Luke was on Dagobah before he left to help.
I mean, they don't really say.
Right, but what did it feel like to you?
3 weeks.
Maybe a month.
Maybe like a month or two.
Yeah, maybe a month or two at the most.
No, the way Luke was so confident and so like in Jabba's palace, like just boom boom with the Force. You know, he was
but then that's years in between number 5 and number 6. You're talking about 3 years for him to learn the Force more.
This is how you can tell when Yoda got the X-Wing out of the swamp. How long did it take him to clean it? Get the engine back running, get all the mud out and all that stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, the X-Wing was cleaned out. Luke had his camp set up properly.
Yep.
To me, it felt like he'd been there a while because he had kind of had his place organized.
Exactly.
Here's a question: does anyone in Star Wars go to the bathroom?
What?
Yeah, he uses the flush.
Yeah, we do not see, like, if you're saying, like, because we didn't see it canonically, we have not seen anyone going to the bathroom. So canonically, in Star Wars, people,
Really? Really?
Yes.
Really?
You don't see him do it in Star Trek either, but anyway.
Exactly. Like,
apparently, one of the bridge doors, one of the doors in the bridge is a bathroom.
That's where they keep the captain's log.
He's making the captain's log on the toilet.
Well, apparently, because the range of the weapons, Star Wars weapons, is about how far you can throw it. So,
hey guys, there's just today there was an article released that says Star Trek is becoming more new Star Trek is becoming more like the old Star Trek, but that is not necessarily a good thing.
New Star Trek is nowhere near the old Star Trek. No way.
Who said that?
It was in an article from alexmoreland.co.uk.
See, this is why I don't read this clickbait article crap thing.
I don't either.
He's woke.
Stop using. You know what? I swear I'm going to throw. I need to create like some kind of virtual punch to throw at every person that ever says woke online. because nobody knows what the freaking term woke means.
Intersectional feminism.
That's what happens after you sleep for a while.
Ha 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 ha! Well played, Michael.
You wake up, you don't woke up.
Or Mercer, sorry.
At least you have to be at least about 2 or 3 months. Because I think it's going to take a long time. Take a long time for Luke to fix that Skywalker, the X-wing, clean it, drain it out, get the engine running, get out of the mud and everything. So you're right, got to be at least 3 months, maybe 4.
R2D2 is also a vacuum cleaner. That's what you didn't.
Well, dude, let's admit it. In Star Wars, R2D2 is whatever the fuck he wants to be.
And also, you can tell his hair was long. In the beginning, his hair was short. Then all of a sudden,
but wouldn't he have to shave?
Hair was long.
Dude, you can shave with a very sharp rock.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I was saying that. Look at Luke.
Maybe Yoda had something to shave with.
Kermit, let Cook speak. You remember saying, man?
I was saying, look at his hair. His hair was longer. When he was there, it was short, and when he left, it was a little bit longer.
Probably used his lightsaber to cut his hair.
Oh,
no, his hair don't look burned. The lightsaber don't cut; it cauterizes. Well, with that saying, like, who says he doesn't have a knife with him? Yoda had knives. Yoda wasn't using his lightsaber. He could have been using one of his.
Yeah, we don't know if. I mean, it's. What the heck was that?
It's my phone going off. Sorry about that.
I mean, we don't know if Luke has like a grooming kit aboard the X-wing or something,
or a survival kit.
Right, so that's entirely feasible because most military outfits would have something like that aboard as a part of standard issue kind of thing. And yeah, Arabic, I just get, here's my thing about woke is that
he still had his equipment, but he still had his belt.
Right, but that wouldn't be something you would keep on your belt. Something like a personal grooming kit would be something that would probably be stored like under the seat in the cockpit for like if you were landing your X-wing somewhere and you were staying.
Wait, Anti-Checker, wasn't he wearing a belt in the X-wing?
I don't know I'm sure he probably was.
What?
No, I'm saying in one of the scenes, wasn't he? Because if he's wearing a belt in the X-wing, then by rights, he should have a knife to cut himself free if that ship goes down.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Sure, he was well trained in how to get out. You just don't see the training.
Yes, but I'm just talking about to cut yourself out. You go ahead.
I was saying Vader did. Vader knows he increased his training when he was fighting at the Sky City.
Yeah, Vader also wasn't using all his power. He was toying with him.
Vader, so the Vader had all access to all the Force knowledge and the forbidden Force knowledge that the Jedi Temple had. He also had access to all the thousands of years of however long the Sith were around, right? He had Force user knowledge. Plus he's also robotic, so who knows how much enhanced his strength actually is, because we've seen him lifting people up off the ground with ease, so his strength is obviously enhanced.
Of course it was enhanced. The guy was an old dude. Of course it was enhanced. I mean,
well, I've heard that his Vader's robotic nature actually hinders his usage of the Force.
Yeah, because it's it's called the living Force, where it flows through your living material, and Vader could not use Force lightning without killing himself.
Right. And so same thing, like he's not as able to easily fluidically use his telekinesis and stuff like that, so he has to focus actually more than Luke or anybody else would. than to use his Force abilities,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
interesting.
he's
But that
genetic material.
he's basically got one hand tied behind his back.
Yeah,
Or-
because he said the emperor did it on purpose, so so he won't take over overpower him. So he had it. So
But
he knows
no, but Cook, that's the thing. He's meant to take over power because there's a master and apprentice, one to hold power and one to crave it.
What? Say again?
There's a master and apprentice of the Sith, one to hold power and one to crave it.
He said that so he can suffer. So he made him suffer, so he won't.
Yeah, the suit is actually really painful and uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, right. So he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
But that's part of the reason that the Emperor wanted to get Luke so bad in Jedi, is because since Vader was so disabled by his suit, that means that the Emperor now needs a better apprentice in Luke than Vader could be.
Well,
and I do. By the way, I do want to say this. I do not want to hinder the Sequest stream that's going to be starting in about 15 minutes. John DeMarco did just put the link in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it if everybody here would click on that link. I want you guys to go there for a couple of reasons. I want every single one of you to demand to know why Life with Matthew is lusting after Leonard Nimoy. It's a question that we all need answers to.
Well, it's simple. He wants to play with his pointy ears.
And so, and plus, I mean, John DeMarco and Live with Matthew are good peeps, and they're a good part of the community. And so I do. So for sure,
I dropped my link in the channel. I'm live tomorrow. Shameless plug.
Yeah, don't you don't need to go to Potato Revan's thing.
The Emperor said this day that Anakin or Darth Vader was more powerful than him. So he was trying.
Well, you're also forgetting that Anakin is the I had a weird theory that there's multiple chosen ones for different reasons.
Yeah, because
you know, the interesting thing about the Chosen One prophecy is Anakin did bring balance to the Force.
He did.
He was chosen one. He was the chosen one. But like I said, we all know he got
the Force is semi-sentient as well.
Excuse me, my voice might go out. But Emperor did say that Anakin is more powerful than him. He was trying to get Luke, reduce Luke.
Well, dude, Anakin was more powerful than him because Anakin still had his arms. He could still clap.
Yeah, had Anakin not been tossed into the lava, then the Emperor's prediction that he would become more powerful than either Yoda or the Emperor would have been true.
Yeah,
the Force is also semi-sentient.
Oh yeah, the Force is and that's another problem that we see. This is a big problem I have with the way that Rian Johnson dealt with the Force, as opposed to some other directors. Is that I like the idea in the prequels, particularly in the Phantom Menace. I like the idea that the Force, you get that distinct feeling that it's a living entity with a purpose, with a will, as opposed to the idea that the Force is just a natural energy field, which is kind of what you get from Rian Johnson's take on it.
Well,
you want to hear this?
Wait a minute. Here's the problem. Yoda said in Empire Strikes Back that the Force is a living thing. It penetrates us, it guides us,
right?
Us is in us. So you got to figure out is it like something like a switch you turn on or something you turn off or something we all got or don't get. And
I have a story to tell about this.
Well, we're running out of time, so we can't do any more stories for tonight, Kermit.
Quick.
Well, you're going to have to save it for next time, Kermit, because I do want to wrap things up here. Because again, I do not want to step on.
I can sum it up.
No, Kermit. No.
You got the phone.
Sorry, I get excited and
I know you do, buddy. I know you do, but I want to cut things off before we get out of control, because before we know it, we go 20 minutes into Sequest time, and I don't want to do that. I do want John, if you can, put the chat, the link for your stream in again. I am again going to ask you guys, every one of you, I'm going to ask you to go over to that Sequest stream and hang out with them. If you're going to be up. If you're not going to be up, I certainly understand, because
I've never watched Sequest.
Well, you should go over there. It's just like our movie night with Matthew, where you can watch the episode with them. But most importantly, it's a chance for you to ask Life with Matthew, what is his deal with his lust for Leonard Nimoy? It makes no sense. It's disgusting. It's perverted, and
we'll back it.
There's something very, very wrong with it. And so, but I do just want to say thank you, first of all, to all those on the panel right now: Mercer, Chief, Daniel's Hot Topics, Kermit, Potato Revan, Positive Candor, those that were here earlier. I want to say thank you to Thomas, for asking me to do this, you jerk.
Thank you for letting me hang out here, even though I got heated.
It's okay, man. It's okay. We're all friends.
Except for when we're not.
Yeah, we're all friends except when we're not. That's true. But thank you guys for just being a good community. Sometimes we get angry, and Arabic throws a buck in. Thank you so much, my friend. I do appreciate that. And so now go hang out with Matthew and John DeMarco.
Good night, everyone.
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
There you go.
Good night, everyone.
That's a great way as any to end it. Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.